to the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I am joined by.
Dave Rude from Tesla.
It's great to be chatting to you this evening. Can you tell us, though, when's there going to be a follow up to your solo work, Through the Fire?
Oh gosh, I'm actually kind of just starting to think about writing some new songs and um, making another one and doing it quicker because this last one was a lot of fun, but it kept getting backburnered because Tesla was getting busier and busier, and then pandemic and all this stuff. So there was all these like uh, pauses. So it ended up taking years for just a little solo record. Like it wasn't like some trilogy. Sorry, this is Bowie, our little
Which
Boston
is
Terrier
beautiful.
puppy.
Just about it says absolutely beautiful.
Oh, it was great, but I was thinking, man, I write songs all the time. Got a recording setup, and it's easy to bring on the road. So kind of part of me wants to just make another record, but like kind of quick. So we'll see. I've got a bunch of stuff already written, and we're leaving tomorrow morning for a tour with Tesla, first long one of the year. So I usually have more time on the road than I do at home. You can
Right.
see.
Yeah.
So I'll probably, hoping to get some recording done out there. So hopefully to put out another solo record just for the heck of it.
That'd be amazing, mate. Honestly, I think it's really good. Through the Fire. I really like it. Really enjoyed it. Um,
Mm.
I've been a Tesla fan since 1986, right? When Psychotic Supper was out, one of the albums that got me through my times as a teen. I know you joined in 2006. So when you go back to that time, how daunting was it for you to be joining such a legendary band?
Man, it was crazy, because I loved Tesla growing up, so I was a fan also, and to then be invited to join the band that you love, it was very weird, and like I had gotten to see Tesla a few times in the year or two before I ended up joining them, and just as a fan, I didn't know anyone, like bought a ticket, all this crazy stuff, um, and then soon after to be like hanging out with him and then in the band. Very weird. So it's just, yeah, very surreal, and really cool. Like it felt right from the beginning. So they all of them were just so cool and nice to me and welcoming and all that. So I was just feeling like the luckiest guy. I still do whenever I think about it.
Yeah, I bet like when you must be like on stage and then just go, I don't know, science or medicine, you just like, "Fuck, I'm doing this.
And
Amazing.
every now and again, to be like, I'm in Tesla. What the fuck? Like it's weird. 'Cause most of the time it's like I've been here almost 20 years, so it
Yeah,
is
I know.
it is my day to day. But every now and again, I just like, whoa, this is weird.
That's amazing. Um, okay, so 2019 was the last time Tesla released an album, which is a long time ago. Shock. Do you think there'll be plans to do anything? I know you're a very hard-working band. You're on the road a lot, aren't you? You're constantly on the road. Do you think there'll be a chance of an album?
I mean, I'll say that every time I've said never with Tesla, we always end up doing whatever I'm talking about like later on. So it's like I don't want to be like it's never gonna happen because in a week we're gonna be like we're making an album. But I would say it's highly unlikely, just because, like you said, we're a hard touring band. We're always out, and to make an album, we'd have to not do that for a while. Whereas we can do like we've done the past few years, make a single, one song here, one song there, put it out maybe once a year. So just to kind of keep give something for the fans who want new music, to keep them excited, to keep us excited. It's fun to play something different,
Yeah.
and just sort of promote the tour because the record industry has changed over the last few decades to where the records promote the tour as opposed to the tour promote the record. So we don't make any money at all from new music, like zero.
Wow.
We lose money because we have to pay to make it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make sense. We'd rather go earn money and play and enjoy being on stage, instead of like, well, let's take 6 months off, earn nothing,
Yeah.
and make a record that no one will pay for. Like I mean, we have like super dedicated fans, and I'm sure a lot of them would buy it because we've got the diehards who want a physical thing, and whenever we sell some kind of vinyl issue, it sells out in like a day. So we're lucky with that, but that's not like sustainable. It's not like the old record industry where we'll sell so many records it will keep us in moving, right? You have to tour. So that's a big part of it. We only have however many years left, and we'd rather be out there touring and playing the songs that everyone knows, because like, again, we've got really diehard fans and they like our new songs, which is pretty amazing. It's the most, we're lucky in that.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, we know everyone's there for the classics. Even if we put out an album of new songs, we can really only squeeze one or two into the set anyways. So if we just make a single, problem solved. Here's one new song for the diehards. You still get all your hits, and we didn't have to take 6 months off the road,
Yeah, that's fair comment. I can fully understand that.
But like I said, I'll never say never. Probably next week we'll be like, we're making a double album. I don't know. Right.
That'd be so cool. All right. So I caught you guys in 2009, and I swear, I've been to like loads of gigs, loads of festivals and everything. But that show in Newcastle, you had Irish band called Storm Zone supporting you. I
remember
that. You were just fantastic. It was probably one of the best gigs I've ever been to in my life, and it was amazing. So basically, so the thing is, do you think you'll ever get back to the UK?
That would be more likely than an album. I hope so. It's economics. It's expensive for us to come to anywhere overseas. We did a lot right when I joined in 2006. Tesla hadn't barely done anything outside of the US, right? Like in the heyday, they focused on America, a little bit of Europe. Like I don't think ever in Japan. There was not much. It was very Americentric. And right when I joined, we started focusing on trying to broaden, to be like more of a global market. And we went to Europe a bunch. We were going once or twice a year for a good several years there, from 2006, 2007 onward. And that 2009 tour was one of them. And it was great. And we got to do the funnest thing is the festival circuit. Like that, It's so cool. But, it's been less and less because it's harder to again make the money work, because it's really expensive to tour in Europe, and we're not as big over there, so we don't make as much. We play smaller venues, not all of them. Some of them we do big rooms, and the festivals are insane. There's like 40,000 people, and it's like the funnest thing you've ever seen. So that's always great, and we love being over there, but it's harder. So again, in the interest of, well, how long do we have left to be a viable band? Do we need to go take a month and not really make much money, or do we stay here where we can play bigger shows and earn something? But again, I've said we're never going to Europe again many times, and then we end up going to Europe. So stranger things happened, and again, I love it. We all do, but I mean, geez, last time we were there, we made that record at Abbey Road. It was like the coolest thing in the world.
Amazing. And but what I love about the tours, especially over in the States, is like you did a cruise ship tour, don't you? That looks amazing.
Yeah, a couple of weeks we're going to do that. Yeah.
What's that like? That must be just phenomenal. I'd love to go and do that.
Dude,
as a punter.
Absolutely, and it's we get a lot of people from other countries come over and do that cruise, because I mean, if you're into cruises, it's like, oh, cool, like paradise and islands and the Bahamas and suntans and Coronas in a bucket and all that. So it's fun, but like as a music fan, I mean, if you're into this stuff, this 80s rock, like there's no better destination. Like you're gonna see bands that you can't see anywhere else, because there's bands like us that are still touring, but there's a lot of bands that are smaller that just do a few shows a year, and they're all on to other things, but it's a smaller market. These are like, so nowadays a lot of the bands that in that market are sort of niche sort of bands, and they can do shows here and there, but they're not able to just go on a bus for a month and tour. So there's a lot of bands who only do the cruise, or like do the cruise and like 5 other shows through the whole year. So if you like all these bands, it's like one-stop shop, man. Like you can get, bam, you make your list. And got to see them at noon, and then they're on at 1:45, and then they're on at 3, and you can knock them all out in a week. And the other cool thing for fans is it's just one boat. It's not like there's like some band area and then the fans like we're all together the whole time. So like if we're hungry, we're going to go to the same place you are, and we're going to be standing in line like getting pizza or making a sandwich or something. So it's a lot of fun, and it goes all night. I mean, there's bands playing till 1-2 in the morning. It's cool.
Sounds amazing. Are you glad you started in the music scene when you did, rather than today's social media insanity?
Oh, absolutely. And are you talking about me specifically or just Tesla?
Well, you specifically as a musician.
Oh man, yeah, big time. I am the luckiest guy in the world, apparently, because like I caught the tail end of the music business kind of still working, and I got to join this huge, like, legendary band that I was a huge fan of, and it was the exact same style of music that I was playing, and like it fit organically, and we all got along, and they're great guys, and the fans were awesome. Like, I got everything. It was the luckiest thing in the world. But I had been in bands, in San Francisco, in this area for years, trying to make it. Like, that was all I did. I had just a bunch of part-time musician jobs, and always just trying to make it like all the bands do. And at that point, it was early 2000s, you could still have that dream of like, we're going to make it, and the record's going to sell 5 million copies, and we're going to be millionaires and superstars, and we're going to play arenas, and like, that dream still kind of existed. It was the tail end, but it still happened. But nowadays, I mean, it's gone. Like, it's not like, oh, rock is dead or any of that stuff. It's just completely different. It's a totally different landscape, and it's extremely difficult. And the way I think about it is the mile marker of like success has completely changed, because it's not like, oh man, I'm going to be in a band, and, at least, I mean, really for any music, but especially like this kind of music, like hard rock, riffs and Les Pauls and Marshalls and solos, and like people who love Guns N' Roses. Like, if you're making a new band that's in that style, your success is not going to be, I'm going to own a mansion and drive a Ferrari. It's like, if you're really, really lucky, you'll be able to do it as most of your living. You still might have to work a little on the side. Maybe that's your whole job for a while. And that's the top of the game, and like, if you really, really break through, that can turn into something. And then it seems like longevity, right? So if you can do that for a while, then it can sort of snowball into, you've got this touring thing that you can always rely on, and sort of make a living, and sort of be a normal person. But it's, as far as the pie in the sky, like house on the hill, private planes thing, from what I've seen, it just doesn't exist for new bands. And like you said, it's all, even big hits and pop music, it's a lot of it is found on TikTok, and there, I mean, there's all the big labels and management companies have full-time employees whose job it is to look for new songs and artists on TikTok or so, period, which is insane. And then they find one hot and they give them $1 million, and like, so those guys might make a little bit of money, but it's still kind of it's just so different, and it seems like a lot more lottery-esque in some ways. But I don't know, which again is why, like, I think about that all the time, because I was in club bands, and then even in the beginning of Tesla, I was trying to do my solo band as like a real project to actually make it its own sort of viable business also. Now it's more just putting out records because it's fun, and I enjoy making music, but so I've been on that side, and I know bands who are younger, and like, I'm always hanging out with the opening bands and stuff, and like, it's like, whoa, it is so different, and it is so hard, and there's so many bands and so many songs that even if you're really good, it's so difficult to stand out, and it's more about getting followers and like doing something crazy to get like a headline than a great song sometimes. I mean, it all comes down to a great song, a great band, and a great live show. But as far as getting to the point where you're even available for people to see you, there's so much noise that it's really difficult for new artists. So like, man, I'm very lucky that I'm not coming up now. But gosh, at the same time, you still want to make music when you got this drive that all the musicians have. You can't stop it. So there's going to be bands trying to make it, and still be bands putting out records, and I figure somehow if you're following your heart, it's all got to work out some way.
What's been one of the major highlights of your time with Tesla to date?
Jeez, I mean, there's been so many.
Yeah,
All those just, I don't know. Oh, I mentioned earlier that's in top of my mind is when we got to make that live record at Abbey Road. That was unbelievable. Just being in there and like actually even getting to record like that was just. I mean, we made a record at Abbey Road. That's blows my
that's
mind whenever I think about it. Um, you know, just I mean, being in Tesla, getting to like write songs in Tesla, it's insane. Like what? Like I remember I think about like God, if I was years ago before all this, I would never have believed you. Like, wait, you're gonna be writing a song with like Jeff Keith? Like, huh? Like, no way. And this is just the normal thing. It's like, wow, that is like when I think about that, I'm just like so cool. It's so grateful, right? And so things like that. But I mean, just the big shows. I love doing all those festivals were wild. We did
everything. Yeah,
a good couple of years where we did a lot of touring with Def Leppard here in the US. And man, those shows were insane because it's like arenas or amphitheaters sold out every night. And they were coming early for Tesla. So we'd go out there and it was pretty much already full. It was cuckoo. And that was definitely a big highlight. Getting to do all those big shows with them. But there's so many, it'd be difficult to pick.
of course, of course. So, like, what about like in later years? Would you ever sort of think about writing an autobiography about your career?
It's funny. I I haven't thought too hard about it, but I did earlier, and more when I had just joined. There was a couple people were like, "Dude, you should write a book," because it was crazy. Because like they found me online, like in the early days of social media. Like that's pretty cuckoo. And of course, since then, it has happened more often.
Yeah,
I was one of the first, at least in this sort of classic rock genre. Me and Arnell, right? Me and Arnell Pineda were the guys that got found on social media back before it was like a thing. And, maybe because I love to write, that was always, my school.
I think you should.
I mean, one day, right? But I don't know. I have to think because I don't. One, there's not really all that tell-all drama to do, so I wouldn't really want to go that route. It'd be pretty boring if I tried. And then, so I don't know what I'd write about. So I want to try and find a different angle on it, and if I could write something that was maybe hadn't just a different angle that hadn't been done to death so far, like all the biographies have. So we'll see. Maybe one day, but yeah, probably in the future. Yeah. Appetite for Destruction, Master of Puppets, Ritual de lo Habitual.
Your favorite three musicians?
Gosh, just musicians, not guitar players.
Since it's your guitar players, go on. Yeah,
Okay.
three guitarists, go on. Then.
That makes it easier. I'll go with Slash, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and Eddie Van Halen.
Epic. Did you ever manage to meet Eddie Van Halen?
Never met Eddie. No, we've done some shows through the years with Sammy, who's always been the greatest. But I never got to meet Eddie. And so because we played with Sammy and Chickenfoot a couple times,
yeah, of course.
Michael Anthony too, who's the sweetest guy, and those guys are the best. But no, never met Eddie or Alex. Yeah, unfortunately.
Who would have been or would be your three ultimate bands to tour with, dead or alive?
Oh, geez. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Guns N' Roses. I mean, and it's got to be realistic, like, or that we would
just like
a bill with,
like in a dream world. It's like I don't know,
Metallica. So Guns,
the Beatles in the '60s or something. Do you know?
Right, yeah, go. Oh god, that'd be pretty good. Okay, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Led Zeppelin. Then
three countries you'd love to tour that you've never toured.
Ooh, never toured. Okay. Gosh, three countries. Well, I'll say Peru because my wife's from Peru, and we've done South America, but we didn't do Peru. And that's a good one. Ooh, maybe India. A lot of bands do that, and What's another good one? What's another good one? God, China. Why not? You know,
Yeah,
bands go to China. We're not really in that world, but they do. And how fun would all those places be to go see?
totally. One of the PRs sent me a band from China who are absolutely fantastic. I can't remember their name. But I'm
Oh,
going to be
cool.
interviewing the drummer from there, and they do love their metal and rock in China. You know,
Nice.
obviously, you know they do in Japan. It's like mad in Japan, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
China,
I would have said Japan, but we've played it. We didn't really tour, but we did one show there.
right?
But I definitely would love to do a whole tour of Japan too. I mean, they love rock.
Oh, don't they? Absolutely. All right. So, do you prefer festivals or small intimate gigs?
Festivals, 100%. Yeah, I mean, small intimate is awesome, and it's an entirely different thing. But I mean, when you go out and there's like tens of thousands of people, it's just a different. It's that kind of energy is just like it's overwhelming. Um, it's like you just slammed a big shot of espresso. Like it's so much fun. So, uh, I mean, shouldn't say it so cavalierly because I love the smaller ones. And there's been some of the weird, tiny ones that we've done that are just sweaty and you're right up close that have been some of the best shows we've ever done and like the most fun I've ever had. But I mean, if you had to just like a yes or no, the big shows, I mean, for me, it's so fun. You can't beat that.
Brilliant. So, if there was a song about your personality, a made up song, though, what would it be called?
That's a good one. I have no idea. Let's see. Let's see. All mixed up.
Cool. Excuse me. If a musician would have, sorry, which musician would you have in your car for a 24-hour road trip?
Ooh, Dimebag Daryl. Wait, do they have to be alive?
No, it's fine.
Dimebag. I mean, come on.
Never alive.
I
Yeah.
did meet Dimebag a few times, and just as a fan, and got to hang with him backstage a couple times before I was in Tesla. And even then, he was still like hanging and talking and super cool and engaging. I was like, good lord, this guy would be a good long car ride kind of conversationalist.
Do you prefer yodeling or growling?
Yodeling or growling? Gosh, that's a difficult one. I'll probably go on the yodeling side because I love a couple heavy bands, but I'm not a huge death growl kind of guy. I'm not also a yodeling type of dude, but I'll go in the yodel side.
So, do you prefer vinyl or digital?
What's that?
Do you prefer vinyl or digital?
Prefer vinyl, use digital.
I know.
One of
And
those.
and the final one. Do you prefer pizza or Corona beer?
Oh God, that's difficult. They're both very good options. I'll go pizza. What's up? This is Dave Root from Tesla. Watch Seb 666. It will rock your world.
Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers, and listeners?
Oh man, just looking forward to doing some more shows this year, and thanks for all the support and still coming out to see us and listening and just sort of being involved because we're super excited to still be here doing it and can't wait to do more.
I wanna get back to where it started, but I don't know where to begin. Where everything you do is wholehearted, it's a feeling that comes from within. Well, I know, even though it may seem like a notion, I do believe that I will be that old-fashioned mole stuck down in some hole making mountains out of a hill. It's all about love. have been so ill-advised. Their minds are all scattered. But those who lie and criticize are just the devil in disguise. It don't even matter. I don't care what they say. I'm gonna spread love any way that I possibly can. Say hello with a smile, and doing it all the while giving a helping hand. It's all about